ready for a wild ride? It's Park Talk Radio. D&B taking shots with hot takes as their ammo. We're talking theme parks, news updates, rides and more. Hold on tight, cause we're about to soar. Talking park, we won't hold back, we're letting it all out. Talking park, get your ears ready, cause we're gonna shout. We'll dive into the ride, some anecdotes, and all the fun. No filter here, just two guys trying to be number one.
Oh boy, it's episode 20 of Park Talk Radio. Bill here, leading you in, gently guiding you into the queue, onto the ride, checking your lap bar and ensuring you're not giving yourself additional airtime as we ride through tonight's episode. We're recording on a Thursday, June 13th, as it is a topical, relevant program, and we talk about the news in the past week since last week's episode. And always remember, don't be poor, don't be old, keep it beaver free. And joining us tonight in this dry, bite the pillow free of beaver danger, we got Dave here. How's it going?
A boy's best friend is his father, in lieu of mother, since Father's Day is this Sunday.
Oh, yes, absolutely. And this will maybe release on Monday. We might be a bit delayed with our episode drop. When you do listen to this, we'll be posting on social media. Due to producer Brennan and I being out of town this weekend, might not have time to edit the episode. Or we just put it in dry as well. Just throw the intro and outro on, and we call it an episode there. But yes, happy Father's Day to our listeners. Happy Father's Day to you, Dave.
You know, the one attraction I always wanted to go to, but I never got to go to, was the Hitchcock attraction.
But Soundstage 24?
Yes, I believe it was it where the Shrek Theater is? Oh, I don't know.
What did Transformers replace? What was that soundstage? What was in there?
That was Herkenzina.
Ah, yes.
No.
Uh-oh.
Or was that Nazerman's or was that Herkenzina? That was
Nazerman's has been there since day one. Nazerman's is the the buildings by Sting Alley.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, so it was the Herkenzina that got replaced, I believe. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna get checked on this, and if I am wrong, check me on it. But I'm pretty sure the Herkenzina soundstage was undergoing a bit of condemnation. It was condemned.
Condemnation.
So it had to be, ripped down.
I got you here. Alfred Hitchcock, The Art of Making Movies.
It's hard to remember.
That was the attraction?
Yes.
Yes. Also known as The Art of Alfred Hitchcock or Hitchcock's 3D Theater, Cock 3D. I didn't know that was 3D.
I believe they had some 3D portions in the... It was... So back in the day, you had a lot of these soundstage attractions, like the Murder, She Wrote attraction and Hitchcock, The Art of Making Movies attraction, where you would go and it would be, kind of like a pre-show. The pre-show was for Disaster. You have one portion, they usher you into another room, you have another portion, they usher you into another room, you have another portion. So they had in the Hitchcock attraction, they had a portion where they recreated scenes from what was Carousel and Vertigo, some of his more famous movies, where they would take and show how they use green screen to recreate some of the attractions or some of his films. And then they had one portion where you would go stand on a higher level and you'd be looking across to a forced perspective apartment building where just like in Rear Window, you would have to sit there and try to spot the murderer with your binoculars from your point of view. If you've ever seen Rear Window, they were, I think they were attached, and you would just focus in on the different windows, and they had like video screens in the windows
at all.
Yeah, you would try to spot the murderer before the murderer, quote unquote, spotted you. and they had a bunch of different windows with people living their daily lives at their apartments. And in one scene, a gentleman comes home from work dressed up in a suit, and you can see him hiding the knife behind his back before he kills his wife. So you were
Holy
supposed
shit.
to try and spot the murderer just like in Rear Window, watching from your balcony, quote unquote.
God,
And then they had the psycho portion of the attraction, which was old bait and switch type, just like what they used to do with Disaster, where they dress somebody up and then they have a shot of them, elsewhere, and then it switches and the dummy falls. But it was a bait and switch with the shower scene where,
they put a person in the shower and they kill him.
well, there was an actress in the shower,
Uh-huh.
and a studio member from the audience was supposed to be playing the killer.
Oh.
I guess there are no spoilers because this attraction is defunct now.
It's been twice made over.
So just like in Earthquake, the original Earthquake, where they sent the guy up the skyscraper and he was supposed to fall down a couple stories.
Dude, with the vertigo,
the-
Christopher Lloyd.
Yeah, they would
That's probably
have
not right.
these. No, I can't remember what the actual name. It was the scene where they're.
Oh yeah, the guy's
from
falling and
Statue of Liberty.
he's sitting on a green screen, blue screen, like little saddle, and you just wave your arms and legs, and they
Yeah.
do the panning zoom like
Yeah.
you're falling. I remember that part.
That was for Disaster. No, there was
Oh, God
in
damn
Earthquake. In Earthquake, there was an elevator shaft in one of the pre-shows, and they would dress a guy up and say, "Hey, you're going to go up here, and you're going to fall down a couple stories." And then something would go wrong and the dummy would fall down the stories and the guy was never even in any danger. But they would dress a studio member up from the audience to play Mother, aka Norman Bates. And
Mother Bates.
they'd flip the shower around and it wasn't the audience member, because the audience member was just off doing who knows what.
Mm.
And then it ends up a person comes out in a black facial covering so you can't see the face, and they rip off the facial covering and it ends up being the producer of the whole event. It was one of their fun little behind the scenes of how we do things type, different pre-shows leading
Right.
up, kind of like a Twister type attraction.
Mhm. It's unfortunate we really moved away from those behind the scenes, how the movie is made or how the TV show is made, attractions that built the original Universal Orlando. You still
The
get
thing that made Universal Orlando so much fun was its tagline, "Ride the movie."
yeah, exactly.
Back
what
in the day,
Spielberg
you were
pitched
put
on set.
You were put in the movies.
Yeah.
You were literally the star. And there was only one attraction that still kind of holds to that.
Jimmy Fallon, you're going behind
No.
the set on the Tonight Show.
The only attraction where you actually are on an active movie set is The Mummy.
Right, and that's very loose. It's not
Very loose.
It's not
It's
like
not-
the other ones where they showed you how things were made or the pre-shows were
Mhm.
extensive conversations or a monologue towards you of how this came to be. You're talking about Alfred Hitchcock here, and this looked like it opened on opening day, June 7th, 1990. And it closed January 3rd of 2003, which I had already moved down to Orlando at this point. We've been going to the theme parks every year. I just do not recall this particular. Maybe because the psycho part was too scary. We might have gone in one time. Parents said, that's all right. We don't need to scare the kids anymore.
It's just one of those things where, you're going down there and you're going for a couple visits and it's like your parents are like, yeah, that's not something we need to take the kids on,
Sure.
But now you look back at it and you're like, dang, I wish I would have been able to
Dang.
go on those.
Right. I don't remember this one. I don't remember Murder, She Wrote. And then it was Herc and Xena after that, correct?
Yes.
Right. I don't remember Herc and Xena either. I remember Twister. That was some good behind the scenes. I remember I remember part of Earthquake. I remember most of Disaster, which was still some movie making magic. Jaws wasn't one of those. E.T.'s not one of those. MIB's not one of those. Men in Black. Back to the Future, nor Simpsons. Nickelodeon Studios, kinda. I remember doing that. I remember there was slime involved. Or
I actually got slimed at Nick Studios.
do you have the certificate?
I don't know if I still do or
No.
not. My mom probably does.
You should dig that up and give it away.
Oh, I mean, that's a good idea.
That's pretty good
it was
one.
actually
You just
a
write
very
their
good
name on top of
experience.
yours.
I was, I remember I was in the studio audience and they were like, "Who wants to be slimed?" And I remember
course, everyone.
jumping up and down.
Slime
like
that
crazy.
kid.
Everybody.
Quick. Cover him
And-
in your green.
And the staff member said, "Son, come on down here before you hurt yourself." Yeah,
This
that's how
guy-
excited I was to get slimed.
Too
And
excited.
then when they called me, the
Mhm.
nerve set in, dude. I was like, "Oh my god,
What am I doing?
So I got slimed. They pulled me into the backstage area, made me shower. And then they pulled me into like this crappy little office with some guy sitting behind a desk and he
hold
gave me
on.
a
This is like
certificate.
it's taking a turn. This is behind the set with Dan Schneider.
Yeah, that's kind of how it was.
Oh,
The guy was just sitting behind a desk and he hands me a certificate. It was like a generic office. I was like, well, that was weird.
that was the whole thing. Did you even get slimed?
Oh
You
yeah,
just got
yeah.
a
No,
certificate? Okay.
they put me in a kiddie pool, a
Oh.
blow up kiddie pool.
Oh,
They poured green slime all over me, took me
Ugh.
to the back, made me shower, and then brought me into an office and handed me a certificate.
You sure you're at Universal when you did this?
Yep. And it was not
Okay.
Dave Azier
Okay.
from Slime Time
All
Live.
Oh, goodness. I would also kind of toss Fear Factor Live into that behind the scenes, how they make shit work, even though it's very much a
And
stunt show.
you look at Hanna-Barbera was very much behind the scenes. When you went into the pre-show,
Oh yeah.
it was Hanna and Barbera showing you how they draw the cartoons, and then the cartoons came to life, and you were part of the show at that point because they were,
They were sucking you in. They were sucking you.
Yep. So
Well, maybe some future shows or some spin-off shows. We can do like a deep dive on these old attractions and just
I
have a
would love to
conversation
do
about it,
that.
a little abbreviated thing. Let's think about it.
Mhm.
Because I was about to just dive in and start talking about Alfred Hitchcock and what it involved and what it was
I
about.
could talk about those old defunct attractions for days.
Mhm. All right, let's put that on the list.
Mhm.
If there's ever a week where there's not some theme park news to have a conversation on,
Mhm.
that would be it. Though
I
to
also
clo-
I
yeah,
wanted to real quick. I wanted to talk to you off camera about this, but I think we need to take one episode before we get to Horror Nights, and we need to go around and let's say once the whole reveal is announced, we should cover each house.
Yeah.
And then we should also say at each location that there's going to be a house this year, tell our favorite and our least favorite house that we've been through in the last 15 years.
Oh God.
I think that'd be a fun episode.
That'd be tough, which means I got to do a lot more work before cracking the mics. Because I can't think off the top of my head about that. There's too many.
Oh, I can.
There's been a million of them. How could I be so naive?
All right, but yeah, sorry.
Yeah, let's do more show notes on the show. Great. Perfect. Love it. To close out what you were talking
if
about.
you guys want to hear that, let us know.
Or just let us know anything. Join us on social medias at Park Talk Radio, Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and X and all those good ones. Join the group, like the page on Facebook. We have conversations and engagements there. Thank you, Joe Cool, for providing more feedback and your adventures on your park visits. He's attending, I can't remember the name, but a really beautiful park out in Colorado right now. And you can see his adventures as he joins us in the Park Talk Radio Facebook group. You can also leave us a voicemail, text message, or whatever you may want as far as those technologies are involved on our official hotline, 407-490-2220. And if you leave a voicemail and you don't mind leaving your physical address, I will mail you something from the theme park cave here at HQ. Sent out some cool stuff thus far, and I'll keep sending it out until it becomes no longer financially sound, which we're getting close to it. Costs money to send this stuff out. And you can let us know if any show topics come up or if you would like us to discuss. If you have any questions, theme park advice for vacation planning, or you're at a park yourself and you want to contribute a park visit topic, please go ahead and let us know on any of those social avenues. To close up what you were talking about, the Alfred Hitchcock Art of Making Movies, yes, that was where the Shrek 4D theater is. It was replaced by Shrek 4D. In 03 of the same year, it closed. And then that closed in 2022 for Shrek. And replaced with VillonCon, which opened up, late last year?
Yes, it was open. It was open during October, but I think it may have been in technical rehearsals still at that point.
Yeah, it was testing.
It was in technical rehearsals for a while. Yeah.
Super fine ride. There's been a re-sparked conversation on what the worst ride at Universal Studios Orlando is now, and they're saying VillonCon over Fast and Furious. I don't know. Fast and Furious is pretty bad, but you're sitting down at least?
That's an apples to oranges type thing. They're two different attractions.
Well, if you're taking the entire scope of Universal Studios Orlando and saying, here's my ranking. Is it VillonCon or Fast and Furious Supercharged at the bottom?
Oof.
Yeah.
I'm going to say VillonCon because part of the fun of getting on Fast and Furious is making the jokes about how bad it is. And
right?
You know,
I think I can
every time
that.
Every time I come, I say, you know, let's get on it. Let's get on it once. You know, every time I come, I force everybody to get on it once. And we make jokes about how bad it is. And then
ride or die.
At the end, when we're going through the air and it gets quiet, you got to yell out, ride or die.
Oh, man.
And then it's like everybody looks at you like, how dare you ruin this wonderful attraction that I paid $800 just to come here and see it.
I hear people say, whoa, you've been on this before? You know what the lines are?
And you came back?
You came back?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I think there's a lot of comedy to be held with Fast and Furious. The queue also adds a viable Halloween Horror Nights house. While not typically the best one or the setting for it, it is there. We used to have one inside Shrek, which with VillonCon is no longer possible. I don't know. I haven't done VillonCon enough, I don't think.
I've only done it once, and it was when I was down there with you in January, February, somewhere around that time frame. And the issue with those poll numbers is you got to look at demographics. I bet you kids love VillonCon, and it's not
give them a gun. They love guns. Kids love guns.
That attractions it's not like Fast and Furious where it's meant for all ages. It's targeting a specific group of people that there wasn't a lot for prior to VillonCon. You know, Shrek 4D. Yeah, I mean, kids don't. When I was a kid, I didn't want to go sit in a theater and watch a movie in 3D. It just wasn't
but you
like
get,
a highlight.
You get to hear Donkey sing, and you know Fiona. She's crying.
You get
seeing a woman crying. Seeing a Shrek
splooged on by the dragon.
Yeah, the dragon spooge. You get
the
John
dragon
Lithgow
squirts on you.
Crying about being a ghost.
Okay, all right. Well, let's counteract that by saying, hey, go get the Shrek DVD or look it up on YouTube. That whole thing's on the DVD.
Pretty sure it's on Netflix as well, or if not, Peacock.
I'm sure. I think it is. So, but it's hard to say that one's worse than the other because they're meant for two different crowds.
Sure,
you know that's like
I
saying,
wish I was better at VillonCon. I wish I could shoot better.
That's like taking Woody Woodpecker and adding it into the mix back when it was an open attraction. If that was part of the group, people would have said, "Oh, Woody Woodpecker's way worse than VillonCon or."
No, I don't think I would say that. If you are going to ride a ride and it's between VillonCon, Fast and Furious, and Woody Woodpecker, and they're all an hour long, which one are you doing?
I'm doing Fast and Furious because it's a longer payout for my wait. That's also something I look at when getting on attractions. If
your
you give
wait
me
to ride
Doom
ratio.
Yeah, if you give me Doom, which I love Dr. Doom, if you give me Doom at a 20-minute wait, which a Doom 20-minute wait can seem like an hour.
Yeah, it's long because the ride capacity is so low.
Or a Hulk 40-minute wait, I'm going to take the Hulk because I get more bang for my buck. You know, I'm going to take the attraction that I get to spend more time on. You know, and that would be Fast and Furious. So I'm going to ride Fast and Furious over if I'm waiting an hour for each of those. I'm not going to wait an hour for Woody Woodpecker because it's a 15-second attraction.
Oh.
I'm not going to wait an hour for VillonCon because it's less time than Fast and Furious, and you can't keep the little booger eaters on their circles anyway.
Wait, isn't VillonCon a longer ride?
It doesn't feel like it.
I'm sure
Maybe
not.
because the slower movement, and you got to factor in, as horrible as the pre-shows on Fast and Furious are, as horrible as the acting is and as horrible as the pre-shows are, you've got to factor those in because to me, that's part of an attraction. It may not be part of the ride, but it's part of an attraction. And I'm seeking the most entertainment. If I'm waiting an hour for each, I'm seeking the most entertainment I'm going to get.
I suppose. I'm seeing VillonCon's a 5-minute attraction. I don't believe Supercharge is that long.
I know Kong was the longest attraction in the park. Now that they took out the outside portion, I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, that's frustrating that is no longer in it, but it's because the ride vehicle is fucked
that
up.
attraction.
Oh yeah, the outside and oh god, what's it called? The animatronic.
Yeah.
Best pieces. That Kong roar, shake you to your genitals. Promise you that. All right. Well, if you have any feedback or opinions on VillonCon versus Supercharge, or if you've gotten to try Roller Coaster, which officially opens tomorrow, day after this date, recording June 14th, go ahead. Let us know what you would ride if everything's an hour long and you got the bottom of the barrel to pick from. Alrighty. All right, let's run through our opening segments. We got some park visits this week here, dear Dave. And before I go into mine, anything on your end?
I've got nothing as far as park visits. I've been completely swamped at work.
What about, did we talk about the shark attacks last week?
I don't know if we talked
I think we talked about
not.
recording on there. Like, give a little bit of shark attack news.
So
real life
where I
Jaws.
live, real life, not to make light of a bad situation, but Jaws 2 was filmed where I live, and we haven't had a shark attack here in about 7 or 8 years until very recently. We had 3 in one day. Very bad shark attacks.
No Brody.
Pretty rough.
Richard Dreyfuss was nowhere to be found. Robert Shaw.
Call off the Marines.
We're coming home.
Yeah.
Brody.
I thought I was
Brody,
gonna have
are
to
you
be Chief Brody
okay?
and go out there shooting sharks.
Oh, wait. What was the boat's name? Amity 1? Amity 5?
Amity 6.
Amity 6. Amity 6, come in. Are you okay? Call off the Marines, boys. We're coming home. Woo! Clap, clap, clap.
Greatest attraction ever.
Well, glad we have Chief Dave on patrol at Florida, on the Florida island, to take care of them sharks, and giving up some of his precious time in Martha's Vineyard from his Amity days. Some of the park visits that I have been involved and taking the time to go to, we went out to Disney Springs on Monday to grab some dinner, hang out with some family, and we ended up sticking around to see the drone show, Dreams That Soar, for the first time out there. Have you watched the video of this yet? The full video?
I'm sorry, say again?
We were at Disney Springs and we saw Dreams That Soar for the first time this past week.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you saw the
Disney Springs
Death Star scene.
The drone show. Yes, the drone show that you talked about.
The Death Star scene gives you... Oh, man. Just watching it on YouTube, I was like, oh my God, that's so cool.
Wow, it's awesome. We actually watched it both times it was available that evening, as they do play and perform the show twice a night. The first time it started raining and it got delayed, and we kind of dipped out and went over to Jacques Lindsay's hangar bar, and we saw it from that angle, which, the way it's set up, they have the drones perform and set up the sequences and shapes and figures facing the one direction where the viewing area is at. And they don't do full 3D figures. They do just enough so your eyes are focused and they get tricked, kind of the viewing area to see what appears to be a fully formed 360 image. When you see it from the side as watching from the hangar bar balcony or dock, you see that the back half is simply not there. So if you were watching from Saratoga Springs or from behind, you would also see that it's not one-to-one, albeit flipped, which was very interesting. Then we kept hanging out, had a couple more drinks, and ended up seeing the 10:45 show, which is the last show of the night. It's a 9-minute show. And it was still rather packed. They even had people standing in the overflow to watch said performance. I gotta say, it was pretty neat. I wish it was a little longer. I wish there was a bit more to it, as it's simply drones, and I put that as a relative term, simply. Having seen many, many shows across the country for nighttime spectaculars at many parks, World of Color, the original, still my favorite, probably. Paint the Night, also phenomenal. Over in California, Adventure, those parades. Dreams that Soar, not bad. 9 minutes long. There's some nice music that accompanies it. You get some lesser characters represented in the drone formations. And yes, the Death Star scene is very cool. Both times, Dave, I was hoping, oh, please let me see that one drone just careen into the water and take a fucking crash. Producer Brennan did find that video and showed it to me from a couple different angles, so we gotta get it to you so you can post it on there. We still owe the masses that video.
I found it. I'm trying to get it to where I can upload it as we speak.
Yeah, oh man, seeing that thing just give up and take a dive. Hilarity. So we had a great time there. And then earlier this week as well, some listeners may have seen this post across social media, had the opportunity to go check out the Epic Universe Preview Center at Universal City Walk here in Orlando. And they have the scale model of Epic Universe, which is fully fleshed out, and there's some really interesting augmented reality elements that you can utilize using your cell phone. You can download the app now. If you're not able to get down to Universal Orlando, go to City Walk, go to the Preview Center, if you find some other videos or screenshots of the model, the AR will still work on your phone. You can just point it at your computer screen, and those particular elements will generate. It's not foolproof. It's not free of bugs. It's something you can facilitate yourself if you are home and need or would like to experience it. Or there are also content creators who have the AR elements recorded onto their phone as a screen capture. Nonetheless, Preview Center's fucking cool. I have more photos to come. Once Brennan gets out there and can get some videos and some photos as well, post those. We'll have a TikTok generated just for this Preview Center. Chills, Dave, chills, looking at this thing. Looking at the lands fully done, completed. You can see the different videos and photos from the aerial view from BioReconstruct on social medias. But holy shit. You were not wrong when saying during Hard Nights will be, or during our park visits in the future, once you're back down, of us hanging out there, looking at it, talking about it, buying merchandise, because they got some cool merchandise available only in the Preview Center, which, again, small taste of what's to come in a year's time.
So I am torn. Part of me wants to look at photos and videos, but part of me is like, I should probably just hold off till I can see it in person.
That's been Brennan's deal. She said, "Don't show me none. I just here's some advice on how to post the photos." So I posted those particulars on Instagram the other day. She said, "I want to see it. You can show me some of the merchandise. You can show me this, that. Don't show me the model. I want to see it."
That's how I am
for
with
myself.
Everything down to scare zones, to tribute store, to everything when it comes to stuff like horror nights or new attractions. So.
Unbelievable. I couldn't get enough of it. It was busy, and you want to take it in from every angle. There's always so much legend space around it. They got this big model. It cost over $1 million to put together and build, and they have these stanchions.
Just for the model?
Yeah, just for the model.
Jeez.
And Epic Universe alone is a $8 to $9 billion investment. Model alone is $1 million. An absolute, the tiniest teardrop in a barrel relative.
So so what you're telling me is Halloween Day, we're going to get to City Walk, have some pregame drinks before we go to Horror Nights at night. We're going to grab our old fashions, walk in, stare at the model, grab our nuts and go, nice fucking model. Just like in Beetlejuice.
Honk, honk, honk. Yeah.
Honk, honk.
Yeah, absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. That's, oh, I can't wait.
I think I sounded more like Brad Dourif instead of Michael Keaton there, but you know what I was getting at.
Oh, yeah, nice fucking model. I did see...
Fun fact, that whole scene was improvised.
Yep. It was great because Michael Keaton was fucking around on set and knocked something over and just they were
It was the tree.
rolling.
The tree wasn't supposed to fall over.
Yeah, he was rolling. I said, yeah, let's leave that in. PG, fuck it. You can say it. Highly recommend if you can get to the preview center and see it. It is now fully open to the public during operating hours, which I believe from 7 a.m. to midnight. Go on in, check it out. Let us know what you think. And if you're waiting to see it, we can't wait for you to join in on the excitement that is that actual piece. This weekend we'll be in St. Augustine, Brandon and I. They do have Colonial Quarter, which is a park. And they do have the Fort DeSoto, which is, I believe, a park as well. We may get some park content. Park Talk Radio. Park being the prerogative. Otherwise, we will be hitting Universal at least twice next week. As tomorrow, June 14th, you have the official grand opening of DreamWorks Land, which we already went for the preview on that. And they also are the debuting nights of the sensational, symphonic, spectacular Nighttime Lagoon Show at Universal Orlando, which is the water, projection, fireworks, and drone show, and also the reimagined brand new Hogwarts Always brand new nighttime spectacular projection fireworks show, and side Islands of Adventure, Wizarding World Harry Potter Hogsmeade upon the Hogwarts Castle. We'll catch one probably Monday, catch the other next week, Thursday, and we'll be ready for you another park report. And I imagine, Dave, you're not going to watch videos of those either.
No, I'm thinking after our cruise, when we get off the boat, November 10th, I'm thinking of staying in an extra day just so I can catch it. But
I mean,
we'll see.
It's a pretty good idea.
We'll see how that goes.
If by the time this episode drops, those are already have happened, have the grand starts of all of those experiences, Mega Movie Parade still to come, July 3rd, grand opening. So you can catch those. If you don't care about spoilers and you just can't wait to see it, there will be videos available. And last night, Wednesday, June 12th, there was a team member preview for both Sensational and Hogwarts Always, and there is already footage available online.
Yeah.
And I didn't watch anything yet since I'm seeing it in less than a week. Hear the Back to the Future part. Aces. I'm so excited. Alrighty. Good stuff. Good stuff. And we'll be keeping on the coverage and providing more content as it comes along. Let's jump into the news tonight for episode 20. And of course, you can submit news stories. If you would like those particular topics covered, we may or may not cover those. So just in case, send them in. We love your engagement and feedback. Number of news items today. We're still deciding which route we're going, if we're keeping with a global coverage, a US coverage, or a Florida coverage. Tonight, we're hitting a little bit of everything. So top of the mark here, David. Six Flags Great Adventure. That's up in Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
Home of the tallest roller coaster in the world and once fastest Kingda Ka.
Mm-hmm.
They will be opening up brand new Savannah Sunset cabins that are located within the Six Flags Great Adventure Safari. Similar to your Animal Kingdom Lodge, where they have the animals.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
This thing looks pretty neat. It's a multi-person sleeping situation. You're inside the savannah, and they have promises of opportunities. You may get up-close encounters of elephants, rhinos, ostriches, lions, bears, tigers, and you can also do a VIP experience.
For some reason, I thought that when I saw that news, that was Cedar Point, but I may have just gotten my news confused. I don't know if you're going to touch on it later, but hopefully they don't have a Cedar Point incident where one of the camels goes on a ranger through the park. Oh, okay.
Don't worry. We've talked about Six Flags Great Adventure up in Jersey before, where when you would be, I believe it still is, a drive-through safari. Though in the past they would have the monkeys free roam, and they would jump on your cars and break your antennas, and you feed them the saltine cracker through the window, and you pray, please take this cracker as tribute and get the fuck off my car.
Yeah.
This looks like a really cool experience where you can stay on park property as close as you can be to the entrance to Six Flags Great Adventure and get a very unique experience. And the concept art, or at least the promotional photos, looks very, very nice. Savannah Sunset it's called. It's glamping suites. So full AC, very nice. Let me see if I can get some dates. Let me just pick a random weekend. Let's say this weekend, Friday the 14th through 16th. In case there's any availability still. Oh man, so a couple's glamping suite. This gets you fall asleep to the sounds of the open safari inside a luxurious couple suite furnished with West African decor and top-of-the-line amenities. One king bed, breakfast included, and you get a multi-park ticket included with each night of stay per guest. So you get Six Flags Great Adventure and Hurricane Harbor, and then...
So it includes park admission.
Includes park admission. And it does say... And this is your base level one. And then you also get a daily morning giraffe feed where you get a very personal encounter and feed the giraffes, doing Six Flags' job for them. Just like at SeaWorld, you pay money and you get to feed their fish. $1,400 for 2 nights.
Wow.
That's a very privileged experience.
That is.
Oh, man, oh, man. So you have the couple's glamping suite. You have a upcharge one where you have a safari view. And then they also have a family glamping suite. It looks really cool. Looks like if those the safari view suites, the highest of tiers, you get this open view veranda where you just walk out into the safari. And unlike Florida, New Jersey has a bit of elevation, so you get to see the broad landscape of trees and forests. It's pretty neat. Cool little feature. Not as good as your Dollywood hotel and ticket deals. Not as good as your Cedar Point hotel and ticket deals. And those parks do provide a better service and overall atmosphere. They don't have this, though. And this probably gets you a little closer than Animal Kingdom Lodge here in Disney World.
Oh, yeah.
Still pretty neat. As you mentioned, Cedar Point, we got a couple news stories here. I'll start with the first one. And this is the most recent update from June 5th. I believe this was a couple days. Wait, was this a couple days? This was before we recorded.
About a week ago.
Yeah, we recorded after, but we didn't cover this at the time. Cedar Point did post a small new update about Top Thrill 2. While they still aren't saying what the problem is, the general idea is that the trains needed a modification to run properly, safely, and fully up to code. And there have been sightings of very sporadic and limited testing. So that's good. I mean, there's movement. We're getting along. No idea when this thing's going to reopen. But they're feeling better that's going to reopen during this operating season.
Well, that's good. There's progress.
The other one that you just talked about happened yesterday. A pair... God. Holy crap. I haven't watched the video yet. It has 10 million views. A pair of camels escaped from the petting zoo pen area at Cedar Point this past Tuesday and began to explore that section of the park. Understandably, some guests were excited and freaked out as guests were seen jumping over fences into other animal pens to get away from these camels. And camel, they spit. They're not always the most friendly creature. They got a nasty bite. Fortunately, no injuries were reported to guests nor the camels, and they were quickly returned to their enclosure. Investigation pending on how the camels escaped.
It was pretty gnarly. Those camels were on a rager, man. They were on a rager. I watched the video.
Oh man, I'm watching the video now. We'll have to post this.
They're jumping
Camel
around,
is in the middle of the guest pathway, like jumping up and down and whacking its head and neck around, whipping it.
Mm-hmm.
Top comment, your favorite. Put it in reverse, Terry.
These animals are not your friend, man. There was a lady at a zoo. I can't remember when this happened, but she would go visit this gorilla every day from the time it was born at the parks. Every day she'd go visit this gorilla. She would just stare into its eyes and smile at it.
Oh my God, terrifying.
And she was asked not to do that because
I'm sure
they told her, the staff said, hey, gorillas see eye contact as a sign of you trying to assert your dominance. And I've heard this story a couple of times. The gorilla was in its enclosure as it got older, and there were some kids throwing rocks at it.
Oh no.
Pissed it off it was pissed. It jumped over the moat, escaped the enclosure, ran past the kids throwing rocks at it, just looking for this lady. And when it found her, it beat the shit out of her.
Oh, and then she threw her kid at it in defense, and Harambe was murdered.
No, she wasn't mad at him. She said he's still her little boy.
Oh,
she said it was an older lady.
Yeah, she baby reindeered the fucking gorilla.
But fun fact, that's when they started making glasses for animal trainers for gorillas, where it looks like you're not making eye contact, but you can actually observe the gorilla. It kind of makes it look.
Oh, I have a pair of those. It's those old 90s holographic skeleton eye glasses.
Yeah.
Oh god damn! Hey, don't fuck with the animals. I'm sure these camels want to get away. I'm not familiar with the natural animals or species that inhabit Sandusky, Ohio. I'm not familiar with a natural Sandusky, Ohio camel.
No,
can't say that
I
they're
don't believe
native.
they exist.
Maybe they swam across the Great Lake there from Canada.
I mean, there's only one little road that goes to
yeah, exactly.
The rest of it's surrounded by Great Lakes, so
yeah, which is neat. You can, if you stay at one of the cottages on the water, you can see Canada from the tip there.
Mm-hmm.
And those Great Lakes infested with snakes, snake water.
Oh, yeah.
Don't go in it.
Oh, there were people. I rode the giant ride that takes you up and you're attached to an arm and it goes around in circles. It's some sort of flyer, but it wasn't swings. And you could see down in that water and it just looked disgusting. And it was weird because I was like, they were playing the Harry Potter music and I'm like, I don't know how Cedar Fair's getting away with this, but okay.
Well, I mean, I think I saw something the other day that they're still playing the Harry Potter music on Disney shuttles as they're going between parks.
I'm sure.
Yep. Universal doesn't play any other parks music on their buses or their programs.
No, they just play their
shit.
Their park videos.
Minions, Beedoo, Beedoo, Beedoo. Little Pill Boys, Karen's favorite little fuck boy. SeaWorld Entertainment is celebrating, SeaWorld parks are celebrating their 60th anniversary, SeaWorld as a whole, as an entity. And with that in mind, Coca-Cola will be toasting SeaWorld's 60th anniversary with a partnership to host Celebration Sundays at the park. It doesn't say which park. I'm looking at the corporate level news. I imagine it's the first one where they originally opened up, which was over in California? Or was Florida the first one?
It may have been. So they have San Diego and they have Orlando. I'm pretty sure Orlando
San Diego
was the first.
San Diego, whale's vagina.
San Diego.
Yes. 1964 would put us at 60 years. I imagine this will be at SeaWorld San Diego, maybe here in Florida. This Celebration Sundays at the park will feature free beverage sampling for all guests, plus a collection of limited edition exclusive Cove branded merchandise, which means Shamu with a Coke bottle in his hand, similar to your polar bear, and giveaways for pass holders. The first Celebration Sunday will take place June 16th, this Sunday, and continue every third Sunday of the month. What a weird cadence. Until the end of the year. Each month will feature a new exclusive giveaway item, starting with a 20-ounce bottle holder in June. And it does seem that you need to be a pass holder to get those freebies, which is neat. I mean, Coca-Cola is the soda partner for all the big theme parks, Disney, Universal, SeaWorld. I'm not sure who else they have their mitts in. I don't know if the regional ones have them. Hershey, I can't remember. Six Flags, they might be Pepsi, or at least they might be determined upon where they're at in the country. Pretty sure New Jersey's Pepsi. Knott's Berry Farm, I feel like they have their own like sarsaparilla and in-house soda or craft soda. And then Cedar Point, it might be Pepsi as well. Interesting to think about. If you're in San Diego, check out Celebration Sunday every third Sunday of the year, of the month.
Heading over 1/3 Sunday of the month.
Yeah, you better get to it, motherfucker. Don't miss out. Heading over to SeaWorld, Florida, and the adjacent parks. Couple stories here. The first ever resort suite themed to SeaWorld, which at Universal, you have the Jurassic World themed suites, which is at Royal Pacific, yeah?
Yes.
And then the Despicable Me suites are Sapphire sounds right, because Cabana doesn't have them. Endless Summer does not have them. Aventura?
Hard Rock is the Little Rocker suite.
Little Rocker suite. Portofino?
Not sure what Portofino has.
I don't know if they have anything. And then talking relative Disney, Art of Animation, they have whole dedicated sections. Every room is either a suite or it's a themed room. Cars, Lion King, Little Mermaid? Little Mermaid?
Yes.
Yeah.
At Art of Animation, yes.
Yeah. And then they've added suites to, Coronado, Saratoga, to be Sleeping Beauty and all this. Most of the rooms are themed at this point at Disney. Incredibles like contemporary.
Art of Animation, the Little Mermaid section doesn't have suites. It's only general rooms. The Lion King section has the family suites.
And Cars.
The Cars section, I believe, has family suites.
Yep, that's right.
And that's why a lot of people will tell you, if you really want the whole Disney experience, go Value Resort. You get more Disney theming to it.
Yeah, and Art of Animation has the Skyliner. Mm-hmm. And one of the better food court setups that I've been to. That said, SeaWorld's going to have their first one. Now, SeaWorld doesn't have their own in-house resort. Coming to Orlando this summer at the Club Wyndham, they will be taking design cues from when it will be time to reopen the Antarctic realm of the park to be home to the Penguin Trek family coaster. They'll be opening Antarctica-themed suites over there. The suite will bring the majesty of the Antarctic to life inside a spacious one-bedroom deluxe suite for stays between August 1st and September 8th, so a whole month. Chilling behind a carved-out ice facade at the front door are all the amenities Club Wyndham is known for. Full kitchens, which you can make snow cones, it says. A separate living and dining areas, and they'll have dazzling icicle ceilings, as well as plenty of Antarctic-themed games, a life-size plush penguin inside the room to cuddle with, and projections of snow flurries and reflective water effects across the walls. These unique accommodations are full of cool surprises. Booking this new SeaWorld exclusive suite for that time period will include 4 park admissions, a penguin encounter, delicious all-day dining, reserved seating, one-time quick queue access, which is the equivalent to your Flash Pass, your Express Pass, your old Fast Pass, or Lightning Lane, as well as a photo pass for the day. That's quite a hefty guy. Oh man, I'm looking at the picture here. It's fine. They have some fabricated icicles in the corners, a bunch of penguin plushies everywhere, framed, printed out photos of penguins on the wall, an ice cube light up, and they have the outdoor. I mean, it's cute. It's very cute. It starts at $439 per night, and that sleeps up to 4 people.
I see that price decreasing as well. You know, when you think of staying at a if you want to stay on property at an Orlando hotel, you're going to want to do it at a place where you can have multi visits.
Right.
You know, spend multiple days there. SeaWorld's just not that. So, although their ride loading and unloading is so slow, you could probably spend 2 days there and still only do everything once. But
I'd rather jump further in because you get the 4 park admissions. Is that for your entire stay? Do you get a penguin encounter per day? Penguin encounters at least $100 per person already, so that's not bad. All day dining, it's about $40-$50. Reserve seating for, I guess, the shows. One-time quick queue per day. Photo memories per day. I mean, it's not super clear.
Yeah,
Could be a good value.
I just see that. It sounds like a good value, but I just see that being like, you know, oh, the first day we go, let's stay at this hotel, then let's move to our home away from home at Disney or Universal.
Sure. Well, if you pay $450 for the night or $440 for the night, then you get taxes and fees. You get 4 people in there. What is that? About $1.05 per person, and you get a park admission, penguin encounter, food, seating for shows, one-time fast pass, and a photo pass. I mean, $1.05. That's pretty good.
Correct, but I could go put 6 people in a Hard Rock hotel room for about $600 to $700 a night during peak season and get express pass for 2 days.
But no park ticket, no special encounter with whatever, no food, no reserve show seating, no photo thing. You
get a special encounter with ET.
Show
him your express pass, and he'll put his glowing finger
He'll say,
up.
Steven, it hurts.
Steven, ow.
Out.
No Vaseline.
All right. I'm going to start. Let's get through the next piece of SeaWorld news. 2 quick ones. There's a quick update. We talked about this, I believe, 2 shows ago on episode 18. They're due with the 13-year-old child who was discovered unresponsive in the water and later deemed pronounced dead due to drowning. Upon further investigation, and to close this up, and again, our hearts and thoughts go out to the family. Of course, this is a terrible thing to experience on a vacation, nonetheless, at a very nice place. That the girl did suffer a massive epileptic seizure while swimming, which caused her to go under. Which, fuck, man. It's tragic. It's unfortunate.
It's tragic. Where
it had to happen. It did not say where. Where in the park still.
We have drownings where I live, and most of them are a result of a medical episode prior to the drowning.
The drowning, right. The drowning was the killer. Something previous to that instigated it, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
So with a drowning, you can always tell if somebody was dead before they went in the water by an autopsy. They can see if there's water in the lungs, then you were alive when you went in the water. But a lot of people, especially in an area where you can have bad rip currents, they'll be out there and they will have a heart attack before they ever go under. But you're still going to suck in water even while having a heart attack. And so it's usually some other medical episode that causes it. So don't let this dissuade you from attending one of these water parks. They're still very safe.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, it's a tragedy. It's very much a tragic incident. But accidents happen and medical episodes do happen. It's just not where you would
not
like
something you
to
could
have
prepare
a medical
for.
episode.
You could have a brain aneurysm just take you out. Never know. Just a little calcified nugget sit in your brain. So add that to the list. Don't be poor. Don't be old. Don't have a brain aneurysm. It's that simple, folks. You have infinite life, infinite fun. Closing out the SeaWorld segment, seems that on June 12th, there was a public or a get-together that was circulating social media in the local area of Orlando. And this is allegedly being the 3rd annual Aquatica Takeover. And Aquatica is SeaWorld's theme water park. It's very nice, super themed, great attractions. And with that in mind, as well as SeaWorld, it's not as expensive to get into as your Volcano Bays at Universal or either your Disney water parks. Brennan showed me the video, and she'll have to post it because it's just fucking wild what happened.
So let me ask you, when you say takeover, are you speaking of, and I want to be politically correct, but are you speaking of a bunch of people that are acting outrageous, like very trashy people, just...
I don't have the full...
I hate to use the word.
Uh-huh.
Did it look like a ghetto takeover? Did it look very ghetto?
I don't know. I only saw the aftermath. The video I was showed, Brennan showed me like they created a poster for it, and it was just a general gathering. Hey, it's time to come in here, have a good time, and enjoy the day together. On which would have been Wednesday, so a slower day of the week. And it was spread around a common group or common circles, I suppose.
So we here where I live, we have a place called Crab Island, and it is a sandbar out in the middle of the water that is about 2 to 4 foot deep. It is a large party year round. It's usually very kid friendly, but usually 5 or 6 times throughout the summer, we have these groups. They call them takeover groups, and they come down. They all rent boats and go out there, and they just turn it into a very non-kid friendly area. And it's one of those, they post the picture, they post a flyer, hey, we're taking over Crab Island, and it just turns into a shit show. Because they have no respect for the other people out there, and they have no respect for the people surrounding them.
Mm-hmm. I pulled up the poster, and it's from Global Not Local West Orlando Jags, 3rd annual water park takeover at Aquatica. And the caption, our 3rd annual water park takeover is returning on June 12th. We'll be taking 300 kids to enjoy the summer's most anticipated event plan. Accordingly, for chaperone inquiries, please email here. So this was for kids. They were trying to bring maybe underprivileged or those who maybe not go to theme parks or water parks very often to this event, and it all fucking broke loose between whomever and whatever, as the entire water park had to be shut down and evacuated as a full brawl broke out. And the quote here, with a lot of hair pulling, and the video that Brennan showed this poster, and then probably 100 Orlando Police Department officers out there getting everyone the hell out of the water park. It was bad.
So I'm looking at pictures. That's kind of how our takeovers are here on Crab Island. Usually kids end up starting a fight, and then adults get involved, and it's just this kind of looks like something we deal with. Ours aren't geared towards kids to begin with, but it looks very similar to what we deal with.
Just unfortunate. The kids are involved, and then come on, keep it together, fucking animals.
Mm-hmm.
And then it said there was this fuel continuously added to the fire as there was so many people on looking and instigating and cheering them on as a huge mob. And then cameras are out, and it just became very difficult to dissuade everyone and break it up. Took so many police officers to assist Aquatica staffing anyone out. It's unfortunate.
It looks like
the place shut down.
It looks like it was for more of an underprivileged kids.
Yeah, which makes it even worse.
Which brings us back to our other point. Don't be poor.
Goddamn right. Pay for your after dark aqua glow parties at Aquatica. You can avoid the poor. Don't catch it. Shifting over to Disney. We try not to touch on this too much because it's not super exciting. However, the oversight district that does work with Disney since it got taken over by government, the Reedy Creek Oversight District, did give approval for new development that would allow a fifth gate on Disney property, a fifth park. And that says the agreement includes Disney investing $17 billion into Florida over the next 10 to 20 years, with a minimum of $8 billion in the next decade, which goes back to that $60 billion that was announced last year to help reinvigorate the parks across the world. So of that $60 billion, $8 billion is going to Florida.
Well, we'll see how this goes.
Yeah, they're not making another park. I mean, that's just the short of the law.
Yeah.
They're not doing that.
I mean, if you look at it, they've already got 4 parks that the capacity is already through the roof.
They need help.
They need help. You don't have enough attractions for the amount of people you have entering your parks already. You don't have enough employees and staff to cover the parks you have already. Why throw a bunch of money into another park? You know, I could see where Universal had to open another gate. Disney does not have to at this point.
No, they're about to work on Animal Kingdom. Hollywood Studios needs more stuff done. Magic Kingdom's probably going to get some more stuff announced to this D23 in August. Fifth gate, minimum 20 years out, if they ever do it.
Mm-hmm.
Disneyland, they're getting a brand new exclusive Abominable Snowman Tiki mug for the 65th anniversary of the Matterhorn, which is a really cool Tiki mug at their Trader Sam's. We don't get anything cool here in Florida. They will get this sculpted Abominable Snowman with the word 65th anniversary on it, and it comes with a coconut pineapple Dole Whip.
Didn't we get a Haunted Mansion one at one point years ago?
Yes, we did. This sucker will be available only on the Disneyland app at the Trader Sam's location inside the Disneyland Hotel. Available on mobile order starting on June 20th at 6 a.m. Pacific time. Pickup windows between 8 and 5 local time as well. You got to be there to pick it up. They do not ship. These things go for hundreds of dollars online after the fact.
Mm-hmm.
Sucks. I like the Matterhorn a lot, and I do like my Tiki mugs. Unfortunately, I will not be paying those top dollar prices to get them. And my kitchen is all Haunted Mansion decorated. And those Tiki mugs will come in really nice and look great. Unfortunately,
I remember I had gotten the Nautilus drink just because I wanted to drink out of the Nautilus.
Yep.
And then they told me how much it was to actually keep the Nautilus mug, and I said, no, thank you.
How much?
Oh, geez. I think it was $60 or $70. It was
that seems
the drink
cheap.
itself. It may have been more. The drink itself was pricey just for the drink.
I don't have the most recent information. As of November in 23, it was 63.
Okay, so
but it came with the
probably
drink.
somewhere around there.
63. You got you get the drink in the mug.
Yeah, the mug did not come with the drink whenever I was there. I remember I got the Nautilus and then the one that they light on fire because it was the coolest show, which was not a great drink.
Like the Moa, the Krakatoa, Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola.
Yeah, something like that. The Ua or the
Ua. Alrighty, Magic Kingdom, Disney Orlando. We talked about this a number of shows ago, that the Frontierland Shootin' Arcade was closing down for a DVC private lounge to be put in there and made over. They have now officially confirmed the final day of operation for the Frontierland Shootin' Arcade to be transformed into that will be June 23rd, 2024. Limited time, about 10 days or so, to get over there and check it out. And then it'll be shut down, and only those DVC holders with the premium level will be able to go in and enjoy it. The lounge will be inspired by the bygone era of exploration and adventure, which who could fucking care?
Yeah.
I'm not getting in there. I can't even get into the top of the world villain's lair on top of Contemporary anymore, because you need the top tier DVC. You can't just go in with any level. Can't go in with the poor man's level, which, you know what? That's my fault. I'm poor.
Don't be poor.
Don't be poor. Still in Magic Kingdom. It's hot out there. You want to keep your water bottles, refillable ones, of course, full, you want to stay hydrated, you want to have some of that free, delicious water, and you want to, maybe be environmentally sound. Unfortunately, there's not many great refill stations across any theme park, let alone Magic Kingdom, where they've not installed the water bottle refill stations. You have your old water fountains where people put their mouths on it and have no idea how to sip from them properly. Well, a guest took it into their own hands here, Dave. And there was a guest who I guess just couldn't wait or was dying of thirst. And they refilled their water bottle in the Seven Dwarves Mine Train water feature.
I saw that video.
God, it's disgusting.
That's so. Knowing theme parks, that's recycled water.
It's reclaimed water from them spraying everywhere.
And it splashes down, and then it runs up through the pipes, and it goes back to the top and splashes down again.
And that's all it is. There's probably a basic filter. Yeah, kids' hands.
You know how many kids' hands have been in that?
God, disgusting. I'm sure there's a basic filter in there or something to, at least keep the color clear. There's no, cleanser or anything of that sort that you can trust.
It's a good way to build your immunity.
Sure. Oh, fucking sickos out there.
I don't know. I've done some pretty sick shit at theme parks, so.
I have the photo. Oh, good Lord. In some better news, they have announced that the Country Bear Musical Jamboree will be opening and returning to guests fully functional. I don't know if there's going to be any sort of preview for this, as there is for Tiana's right now, which has not been going great. Today, day of recording, was the first day for Tiana's Bayou Adventure pass holder preview, and for the majority of the day, the ride was down. And don't let those people tell you it's just part of the process. They got to practice it being shut down. No, shut the fuck up. Wrong. Wall of shame. The ride somehow was broken when all they did was change the animatronics, which we have talked about as well. Rides with animatronic show scenes and such have so many points of failure that they can accumulate before they can't run the ride because it's no longer in a feasible attraction to give you an equivalent or even slightly lesser experience. Probably too many things not working or in B mode where it just wasn't good. Or, the magical rubber band, piece of gum, or paperclip fell out of place when they renovated that thing. The Country Bear Musical Jamboree will be returning new music, as we mentioned last week. IP music from other Disney properties will be involved. July 17th, 2024 will be the brand new iteration of this, and that will be on a Sunday, which I'm sure will be busy. Don't know how crazy it will get. Surprising they're doing a grand opening on a Sunday. Or a grand return, right? And I think this is my last piece for Magic Kingdom. Tortuga Tavern, the quick service restaurant attached to Pico Bills but located inside Adventureland and across from the Pirates of the Caribbean ride, as well as the now defunct and possibly to be replaced Pirates League with the alcohol tavern. Tortuga Tavern is now closed indefinitely as of June 7th, Friday, with no reopening date. This may also lead to future construction coming and turning this into the enclosed tavern, and as speculated from Dave and I at least, similar to Uga's Cantina, where you can drink inside. And I would much rather be this the case, Dave, as it's a larger section, can facilitate a lot more guests, and they could even go up into the second floor if they're being ambitious.
Correct.
Yeah.
I agree.
I don't know. We will see. We'll definitely have more once D23 hits in August. Over on the Epcot side of things, according to Disney, and this is their words, not mine, of course, or anyone of PTR relevancy, Disney has reported that their multi-year transformation and update to Epcot is now complete. It's done. Epcot is updated to what they feel is a good spot. They added the Moana experience, Guardians of the Galaxy. They redid the Electric Umbrella into that food area with Starbucks, Space 220, and with the grand opening of Communicore Hall and Communicore Plaza, we're now allegedly done. Though, that makes me feel pretty bad, as they announced so many larger scale projects and bigger things prior to 2020 and that whole thing, that this should have been a much larger overhaul. And a number of those items were the expansion to the UK Pavilion with the Mary Poppins ride, the entire update and retracking of Spaceship Earth, a multi-level center that was supposed to be near the Future World area, and of course the Wonders of Life Pavilion. All that stuff was supposed to be something new and just never came to fruition. Yet Epcot, complete. For this update, it's frustrating, man. It's frustrating, and Figment still sucks. Still not a good iteration.
I love it.
Well, I love Figment too. He's one of my favorite characters, and he's an original IP, of course, from the Disney side.
Oh, God, stop it.
Smelephants, the OG ultimate original IP.
The only original IP I like is The Unknown.
IP, UP, WP, OP. Original P. The Unknown House is coming, don't worry. And let us transition over to Universal. A little bit of Universal news before we go into the closing segments. Nothing new on the Halloween Horror Nights front. We're not going to get anything this week. I don't think we're getting anything next week either. We may get some announcements for Epic Universe. Yet to be seen. What we do have, Universal Studios Hollywood announced ahead of Universal Orlando their 4th of July details for 2024. And Universal Studios Hollywood will have an elaborate fireworks display on 9 p.m. Thursday, July 4th, 2024. The Patriarch Show will feature Universal-themed music and visible from multiple locations in the park. They'll also have a fife and drum band performing throughout the day, as well as festive decor. And this is free, included with your admission into the park, which is neat. I've never watched any of the shows for Universal Hollywood. I have been around when they've done Lunar New Year and some of the things, and they use that center area very well and have it decorated, and they have decorations throughout the park. A little bit more than Orlando does. And looking at,
you just won't see fireworks in Hollywood.
It says there's going to be fireworks.
Really?
Yeah. 9 p.m. Elaborate firework display.
Wow. Oh, okay.
Well, I know the noise ordinance and that.
Yeah,
I
they
guarantee.
even have to shut Terror Tram down on Sundays early.
I guarantee the surrounding folks will be setting off fireworks much later than the old Universal will.
Oh, for sure.
God, the animals there too. Don't set off fireworks late, and don't set off fireworks after the holiday. Trash. I'll have to watch a video here of the 4th of July fireworks, because the static imagery looks like they do some projections on the front arch of Hollywood. Pretty neat. A little bit more than we get. We are getting, however, brand new nighttime shows and other experiences.
Yes.
Continuing Hollywood, there has been a rapid installation of brand new track for the Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift multi-launch spinning coaster, which is going to hit 70 miles an hour. The track is connected up on the upper lot, and this thing is coming in quick despite it not opening till 2026.
For a spinning coaster to go 70 miles an hour, that's pretty nuts.
Oh, this thing's gonna fucking jam.
Yeah, it sounds like it. I didn't know it was going to go that fast.
Oh, yeah. With this installation happening, hopefully they remove the supercharged portion of the tram tour. And then maybe we can get a coaster here. And then maybe we can get rid of our supercharged, because that's a huge footprint of wasted space.
It is.
And we just put in the Beetlejuice Graveyard buggy ride.
That would be better.
That'd be way cooler. And to close out on our Hollywood news for Universal Studios Hollywood, there was a guest altercation on the lower lot outside Super Nintendo Land between that and the Revenge of Mummy ride. It appears that a guest sucker punched Universal Studios Hollywood security officer after an alleged incident involving his wife, and there's guest footage of this capture where A gentleman in a white shirt was throwing his wife around. She was found on the floor, and you'll see this at the start of the clip. He tried to walk away from the situation with his kids, and at the time he was approached by Universal Hollywood security, he sucker punched him. And this fucker, a theme park security officer, just ate that punch, took a step back, and came back and said, please stop. Didn't do anything else.
Ugh.
Ugh. Yeah.
So as security, you've got to defend yourself. And I get you got to de-escalate a situation to a point, but if somebody puts hands on you, you can't just let that slide. I mean, I'm sure the guy was arrested. Most states, security guards, it's just like punching a cop. It's you're punching a specified person. It was a few years ago, more than a few years ago, but they lumped security guards into those specified people. So it actually ups it to a felony instead of a misdemeanor battery. So.
Well, I think this guy is going to be pretty fucked. Says he was throwing his wife around. He punched a security officer team member, and the wife went on to press charges against him, and then informed the police he had an unregistered firearm in the car.
Oh my goodness.
I think he's boned, man. How bad's an unregistered firearm in your vehicle?
So in the state of Florida, you don't register your firearms. You do not register firearms in the state of Florida. So I don't know about California penal code.
California, a little progressive more so with that kind of thing.
State of Florida, you do not have to have a registered vehicle or a registered firearm. State of Florida, doesn't matter if a wife pursues charges or not. If it's domestic violence, if there's evidence, you're going to jail. So, but yeah, he is probably pretty boned.
Not to linger too much on that, if you commit that violence against your partner, wife, whomever in public, is that a more serious offense, or is it still considered the same severity?
Same severity. Doesn't matter if it's in public or in private. Same severity, at least in the state of Florida. So a battery is any unwanted touching. And then with a domestic situation, domestic is if you live together as a family, have children in common, or are married legally. You don't even have to be married legally. If you put hands on that person and there's evidence to corroborate that, then it falls under domestic violence. The state becomes the victim, and the victim has no choice in whether or not they want to pursue charges. And that stemmed from years of no arrest being made because the victim wouldn't cooperate, and then coming back a day later and find out that the spouse or significant other ended up killing the victim because they were refusing to cooperate. So fortunately, the state takes over the charges and becomes the victim, and the person gets charged regardless of what the victim wants. Because in a situation like that, it's hard, it's hard to get out of an abusive situation. And my hat goes off to any woman or man that's ever been involved in an abusive situation. It takes a lot of courage and a lot of, a lot of guts to step forward and even report those crimes. So with domestic, it's good that the state takes over and takes the place of that victim. So, but it's still the same charge regardless.
Well, shit, don't commit domestics. Don't commit aggravated assault against your theme park workers. Simple as that.
Don't touch people that don't want to be touched.
Don't touch people, especially the scare actors. Don't touch them.
Yeah.
Leave them alone. All right, 2 more quick ones and then closing pieces. The highly loved and always enjoyed Universal Orlando garage sale is making its return at the end of June here. They will have exclusive team member access starting on June 28th, followed by annual pass holder access throughout the weekend, and then general access as well. Keep that on your calendars, folks. You can get some real good merchandise, including Harry Potter, Velocicoaster, Jurassic World, Jurassic Park, and all the IPs up to 70, even 90% off.
I've never attended one of those. Have you?
No, I go at least once to each one, and I get some good stuff for Christmas, good birthday gifts. There's usually one in November, right before Christmas and holidays. After Horror Nights, you can get some cool Horror Nights stuff after the fact, deeply discounted.
I know we have done major orders for Christmas after Horror Nights online.
Mm-hmm.
The only issue with that is we thought we were getting a lot of stuff. Ordered it, paid for it, it shipped. We were missing over half the things we ordered because they were quote unquote out of stock.
Well, yeah. All the people out of the area were trying to scoop it up quick.
So they reimbursed our card, but we thought we were getting a lot more than what we got. But we still got some cool stuff.
Well, I'll have to talk to you while I'm at this garage sale this go around and see if there's anything for you.
Yeah.
Make it a little easier. Final news story. Epic Universe opens up 2025, and that is part of a large land parcel that NBC Universal Comcast bought up a number of years ago that encompassed about 700 acres. Earlier this week, Universal signed deals to purchase additional land all around the area of an additional 1,300 acres, putting it at a total of 2,000 acres of property that they will be owning around International Drive, the Epic Universe site, and all around there. I'll leave it at that. There's a bit more to it and a bit more you can research, and exciting times to be a Universal fan over the next 20-25 years, I gotta say.
Absolutely. I don't even know how to react. The only thing I can think of is my wallet's going to be hurting.
Oh, don't be poor.
Yeah, don't be poor.
Alrighty, Dave. We have a voicemail, another one. We're really killing it with voicemails back to back to back to back.
I'm happy now, but we'll see how I feel after
Easter egg,
after it comes through.
wall of shame, and we're going to get out of here. So let's get the voicemail queued up. If you'd like to leave a voicemail, again, that's 407-490-2220. Feedback, your park visit, or whatever kind of theme park thought you have on your mind. You ready for this one here, Dave? Ready to get
I hope
lambasted
so.
and torn apart?
Yeah.
I only know who it's from. I've not listened to it yet. Okay.
Hey, this is Nathan again, with a message for Brian, actually. I heard your voicemail, that you left with them. I haven't talked to you in a while. Just want to see how you're doing. How have you been? It's been a bit. And I should be seeing you in January. All right, Brian, have a good one. Bye.
This is not a fucking messaging service. What are you doing?
Let's communicate with
Nathan,
Brian.
one guy on the show to another guy on the show, and you're talking to someone. What are we doing?
Yeah. Welcome to Brian Talk Radio, where we
Yeah.
sit here
BTR.
and we
we'll
let
just listen to your
connect
voicemails
with
talk to
Brian.
each other. Oh my God. What? Well, thanks, Nathan. I really don't feel like you deserve a prize.
Well, that's one. The one good thing is we know we have repeat listeners. So,
And you know what? If it's just the three of them, Brian, Fisher, and Nathan giving feedback, they can just talk to each other. They can talk to each other for 90 minutes. Then we don't do nothing.
yeah, yeah.
Well, thanks, Nathan. We appreciate your voicemail. I'll get you something in
that's
the
fun.
mail here, lickety split.
That's funny.
Oh my God. Well, I'm glad we're done. Almost done now. I don't want to do this anymore. You ruined episode 20. You ruined it.
That's it. I'm going back to Beaver.
You know what? Back on the menu.
Beaver's back on the menu, boys.
Oh, we were so close to 21, and he broke us.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, if you have a better voicemail for us in the future, and that's for everybody. I'm not talking to Nathan. I'm just saying everyone. 407-490-2220. If you want to, and something I can recommend, because this would be a simple one. If you're at a theme park or even a park, because this is Park Talk Radio, find your favorite bathroom and record the ambient sound so we can listen as you enjoy it as well. Alrighty, Davey. You want to do Easter egg first or wall of shame?
Let's go with Easter egg first, so we can end
Alrighty.
on a pissed off note.
Perfect.
Go ahead, sir.
Alrighty, I'll do mine first. Now, surprisingly, we did talk about this particular attraction today. This one's located in Universal Studios Orlando. And it's inside the Fast and Furious Supercharged queue, which this one does have a plethora of Easter eggs of previous attractions, not only of the land and area it took over, which would include Earthquake, Disaster, Beetlejuice. There's also other attractions that it does represent for Easter eggs. I'm going to do one of them today. And that first one is, once you're going through the queue in the garage, you'll see a little wall-mounted key holder similar to the ones a valet would use. And inside are pink slips and different keys that are themed to different Universal-owned IP cars that Vin Diesel, Dominic Toretto, has beat in a race and now owns the vehicle. And the one that stands out is a delightful monogram key for a DeLorean, and on the key it says E. Brown, where he beat Dr. Emmett Brown in a fucking race, and he won the DeLorean from him. Terrible.
Here first. It's
Terrible.
canon. It's canon.
Terrible. No way Doc Brown's losing a race. He can fly.
Dominic Toretto's from Hill Valley. You heard it here first. It's canon.
Well,
Yeah,
that ride
that's-
takes place in California as well.
Mm-hmm.
That's a neat one. I like seeing Back to the Future stuff, and that's about the favorite part of the ride.
Yeah, one of the glorious things about that queue is there's multiple Easter
Well, the
eggs
queue is
inside.
pretty good. It's actually rather enjoyable to see all the stuff in there. And if you're a big
Mhm.
car aficionado, it's also nice.
Mhm.
What do you got for us this week, Dave?
For my Easter egg, we're going to go all the way across the United States over to Universal Studios Hollywood. We're going to go on the backlot tour, kind of. So if you go on the backlot tour, you go past a bunch of bungalows. The bungalows were old offices for people like Alfred Hitchcock, Doris Day, a lot of old bungalows that used to be the home to director greats, and actually the Hitchcock bungalow was offered to Steven Spielberg, but he declined because he felt he needed to respect that Hitchcock, but a fun fact I learned is those bungalows haven't always been right there. Prior to the park portion of the studio being built, most of those bungalows, including Hitchcock's, were located where the Jurassic World queue is now. They didn't want to get rid of them, and they knew there was a lot of history involved, so they uprooted them and moved them over to a different location in the back lot. I think they're over close to Verna Fields' post-production offices. But they were not originally there. They were at first most of them were over by where the Jurassic World queue is now. Not a lot of people know that.
I had no idea.
Mm-hmm.
I would have fully believed they were there always and forever.
Mm-hmm. And most people do believe that. I believe that for the longest time until I heard some recent news on it. So I thought that was interesting.
Oh, very cool, man. Thanks for sharing that one. I had no idea.
Mm-hmm. And I guess I'll go first on the wall of shame. And this one pisses me off every time I see it. Every once in a while, you get on social media and you see either a post or a video of a, late 20s, early 30s couple walking through the park.
Mm.
The woman is
pissed.
about to pop pregnant.
Oh, I'm mad.
And they start talking and they go, "Did you know that if you give birth at Disney World, you automatically get a lifetime pass?" Which is the furthest thing from the truth. For years, I believe they gave out birth certificates if you went into labor at the Magic Kingdom, but they do not give away a lifetime pass. And you'll have these people walking around for hours, which walking when you're 9 months pregnant it's good. It can induce labor. It's a good thing. But going there with the intent of going into labor and not telling anybody so you can have the baby at Disney World is asinine. It's unhealthy. If you're going there with the intent that you're getting a lifetime pass and I'm going to go into labor, I'm going to let my water break and I'm not going to tell anybody and I'm just going to try and have this baby here at Disney, you are a dumbass.
But I want the free ticket.
which is not true at all. That for years,
Jesus Christ.
they did give away honorary birth certificates and stuff like that, but Jesus
I'm
Christ.
sure they gave you one of those, you're not quite tall enough to ride. Come back when you are and you come front of the line. But for every attraction.
Yeah, it's just like when I got slimed at Universal. They were like, oh, this is pretty much your birth certificate to Universal. Came out in slime and now you're in slime again. Instead of cooter slime, it was green slime.
I'm going to drip some embiotic fluid all over the place. It's just as bad as the ash spreading. Come on, guys. Poor dope. He's going to step in it and slip off the Mark Twain again.
Shoot, you know how many times I've been at Universal or Disney hungover and felt like I was giving birth out of my asshole? I didn't get a lifetime pass.
I'm pushing water here. Yikers. Alrighty, I have two wall of shames from this side of HQ. First one comes from producer Brennan. And she's well keyed into the theme park as well, as we all know. She submitted one that the New York Times posted, which, hey, it's a bit more than your traditional theme park social media. The New York Times put out a full headline covering Tiana's Bayou Adventure opening. Headline reads, Black Disney Princess Ride replaces Splash Mountain and its racist history. Come on, man. Why you gotta say Black Disney in the front like that? Or Black Disney Princess? Just call it Tiana, the Princess and the Frog Ride replaces. We know what that is. Just ridiculous. Caption here.
So,
yeah.
That's the thing. It doesn't need to be made about color. Tiana's wonderful. The movie's great. You know,
she got beignets. She got Bahilia, her beaver.
Princesses of every color should be represented, and you shouldn't have to make it about color. You know, it's wonderful. But going back to the whole replaces racist attraction, you know, to me, when people call Song of the South racist, I get it. It had very strong connotations with race. It's from a different time period. You look at, you know, the song Baby It's Cold Outside. People were calling for the boycott of that song, you know, which, come on now. And actually,
that's not even what that song's not even about that.
Yeah. The character that played Uncle Remus, James Baskett, was actually very upset when this movie was blackballed because they, you know, as a strong African-American lead, you know, they're very pissed off with the situation when the movie got blackballed because of quote unquote racism. I get there's racist connotations, you know, I don't want to get too political about it or anything like that, but history is history. Those who forget it are doomed to repeat it. This was a movie that was not made to be pro-racist or anything like that. You know, I'm not going to speak too much on it because it comes down to it's an opinionated conversation.
Right.
And, you know,
sure,
if you have a different opinion, if you have a different opinion than me, that's fine. And I respect your opinion on that.
Yeah.
But to me, I never considered it as a racist attraction, but some people did. And if
opinions are cool, we like them.
That's your prerogative if you wanted to see that as a racist attraction.
Sure, long wild that New York Times chose that headline. And then for my wall of shame,
real quick, I will guarantee you. I can't guarantee, but I will make the assumption that the people that wrote that article and approved that article themselves have never even seen Song of the South or know what it's about.
I haven't seen it.
It's very hard to get your hands on. You can get your hands on it at a couple different little conventions. You can find it. It's very hard to get your hands on.
Well,
you know,
I'm sure a torrent somewhere online has it.
It's a shame for the strong African-American leads that put their heart and soul into that movie and the songs they sang. And, you know, it's a shame.
Absolutely. For me, Bill's Wall of Shame, we got one from the Disney Pass holder page, because that seems like the biggest congregation of the dodos. Individual writes here, having called Tampa home for 3 decades, I found myself begrudgingly returning to Busch Gardens for only the 2nd time in my life, all thanks to visiting family members eager for some theme park thrills. Let's just say my enthusiasm matched that of a sloth on a caffeine high. If fate decides another 30-year hiatus before I grace Busch Gardens with my presence again, it would still feel too soon. Yup, I'll proudly wear the Disney Elitist badge because there's simply no substitute. Get the fuck out of here, you jackass. There's nothing wrong with Busch Gardens Tampa. The place is awesome. They got excellent rides. They have more affordable, frugal options. They have a pretty good Halloween event. Their Christmas event is the best in the state next to SeaWorld's. And you're so fucking high on this horse, or you're an elitist, gatekeeping piece of shit, that you have to poo-poo all over it, and maybe you would like it better if you went more than once every 30 years and gave it a shot, man. And you live right next to it. Glad your money's fallen on the ground as you travel all the way up to Lake Buena Vista for fucking Disney. What the hell is this? There's nothing wrong with Busch Gardens.
No, not at all.
Their barbecue quick service is consistently rated by many publications as one of the best quick service restaurants at theme parks.
Mm-hmm.
Disney don't get that. They got dog shit food at their quick service. It's not good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember when I worked for Universal and employees used to get in Busch Gardens and SeaWorld for free. I used to take advantage of those Busch Gardens passes all the time.
Yeah, man, Busch Gardens rules.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, you gotta spend more money to have fun. Fuck me. Fuck Busch Gardens. Poor Busch Gardens. Stupid Disney people. Alrighty, Dave. Wrapping up. Social medias at Park Talk Radio. 407-490-2220 for phone calls, voicemails, and text messages. Email parktalkradio@gmail.com, and anything else. You know how to get in touch. Closing thought, Dave?
No.
No. All right. Well, thank you all for joining us for 20 episodes plus some bonuses here and there. If we have anything that pops up next week for Epic Universe, you, of course, will get another e-stop from me. Otherwise, we will see you in the park.